someone asks a critical question about our Prime Minister and he's a top editor of the country, he gets slapped in full public. Anybody, even if you have 10 followers on Twitter, you write something against a minister who's in power, the trolls will not leave you. In times when RSS is telecasted live on India's national television, these are definitely tough times, but somehow a few of us have managed to work around them.
Journalists who continue to have great journalistic careers, but who were, if you look at the evidence on the tape, thoroughly compromised. And in no other country where the media would be subject to any kind of independent scrutiny would these people have careers left. But I don't think it bothers anybody in this country. I'm talking of also the audience and the readership. After all, people pick up the New Indian Express and read it despite Prabhu Chawla editing it. NDTV has a followership despite Barkha appearing every day on that television show. So in that sense, we are all complicit in what happens in the media. And then towards the end, I had my own fallout with Open again because of what I had written, both against the Congress and the BJP. I don't know what it was, but my owner called up and told me that they would like me to take some money and move away. And I said, I haven't done anything wrong. They tried to negotiate for a month and they finally had to sack me without reason. So I've taken them to court. That court case is going on. But the thing is, it's both about corporate pressure, how the government can access corporates, and it's also about individual journalists unwilling to stand up. Those two things are related, but they're not completely the same. I think ever since Narendra Modi has come to power, you can already see what has happened to journalism in this country. And at the moment, there has been no overt pressure by the government to make organizations toe the line. Even owners have not stepped in, but individual journalists have stepped in to a certain extent. But there are organizations where they haven't stepped in, but individual journalists have already sensed the mood and started behaving in such ways that there would be no need for owners to step in.
This is 98. I'm a cub reporter and a sub-editor at Economic Times in Bangalore. And the dot-com boom has not yet become bust. The dot-com thing was just standing. There was a place called India.com, which sort of put up its advertisement on the front page of the Times of India. I was shocked. And then I looked back, and on 15th August 1947, the Hindu had put up an ad on its front page. The day India got free, the Hindu newspaper didn't carry the news of India's freedom on its front page. It carried it on third page. So the Times and the Hindu were not really very different from each other. But I was living in Times of India. A few days after that, a very senior editor who still runs the place, he came to an edit meeting and he said, if I get enough money to put a bikini on the edit page, I'll put it. Now that completely conflicted with me. I said, what the hell? Is the editor going to... And he said, you're selling nothing but soap and oil here. Your news is a filler for the advertisements that go out.
The South China Morning Post reporting of the clashes has been not quite exemplary, but has been very balanced, which has really surprised me, considering the editor is widely lampooned as a Communist Party stooge, Wang Zhangwei, who's been at the SCMP for quite a while. And, he joined the SCMP a long time ago from the China Daily, which is a state mouthpiece, and he's a member of the. He's often called controversial on various sites, and get this right. This is the editor of the South China Morning Post, a once respected newspaper around the world, and he's a member of the China People's Political Consultative Committee, the PCC. That to me doesn't make for impartial reporting.
Basically, there is intolerance rising everywhere, even among the readers, where the conflict is just not with the owners. Okay, the capitalist mentality is on a rise we are no more democratic socialist republic. We are, in a big way, we are becoming a fully capitalist society where everything is controlled by the few again. The industrialists are buying the media. In Goa, the newspapers were started by the mine owners. Now the other big chains have come to Goa, and the common people's newspapers have just closed down. Maybe small newspapers, small things, everything is closing down. So, and at political level, there is a lot of intolerance. If there is something against is published, then they go and strangulate you. At advertisers level, it is always there. At owners level also, there are a lot of restrictions. So it is becoming day by day, it is difficult. Where the last hope is reader, but the reader doesn't buy your newspaper unless you toe his line. And that is the conflict I find today, just not at political or economic level, but mainly also at readership level.